Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 with Zebu Nation. We are, of course, back with FC Cincinnati, getting ready to move into Major League Soccer. This episode is going to be our pre-season spectacular. No, scratch that. This is the post-season spectacular. Anyway, we're going to get to a lot of stuff here. But first, I want to mention Major League Soccer itself. It's weird, but it seems to me that right now I'm the only person in the FM community producing MLS content for FM. It seems strange. Last year there was a big boom in MLS content. But right now, if you do any kind of search on YouTube or whatever, it's just me. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. So let me know if you know of any other content creators. And if not, then let other people in the FM community know that, they can get their MLS content right here with us, Zebu Nation, We got some people commenting in the comment section. That's always good. So keep that up, keep that going, the like and subscribe and all that stuff. I don't usually say that kind of stuff, but I'm feeling kind of hyped, feeling kind of excited right now. So go ahead. Hit the like button and all that business. Tell people about it, whatever you feel like doing. Anyway, let's get to where we're at right now because some things are happening. Let's take a look at the schedule. You saw us, drop out of the U.S. Cup in the 5th round, lose to Atlanta United, of course. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the calendar. We have moved forward in time to December of 2018. As you can see here, there's only a week left until stuff starts happening. Restricted transfer window opens, the waiver draft happens, the expansion draft, re-entry draft stage 1 and stage 2. So we got some stuff coming up. And then December 25th, we're going to get our intake of youth. So that's a lot of players coming into the club fairly soon. So we're going to pause it here, run through the week, and we'll get to the various sundry drafts and whatnot. So, pause. Okay, we're back, done with that week of scouting, and again, it's been, an exercise in frustration and futility a little bit here, mainly because we got some emails back from our wondrous and glorious scouting department. Head of scouts here, Pamadou Ka, who actually, he was a guy who got a lot of interest this offseason from other teams around the league. Atlanta and LA and some big teams came after him, but he decided to stay with us. I guess I'm grateful for that. But in his travels, his year-long scouting of Major League Soccer, he came back with 102 players found. And his recommendations are Carlos Vela, Lee Win, Angelo Rodriguez, and Andre Blake. Thanks for the effort, but I didn't need you to tell me that these are good players. What I need you to do is I need you to scout everybody in the league and give me a scouting report on every single person in the league, because that's how it works in American sports. Anyway, let's move on from that mini rant. And we've got the waiver draft coming up. Hey, look. 64 players have been selected for the waiver draft. Let's scout them. We got 1 day until the waiver draft, so might as well scout these guys, right? Oh, wait, here's the waiver draft. Got no time to scout them. So let's go. Let's get to the waiver draft, see who's available. Okay, so if you've never seen an MLS draft before, they haven't changed this much in 3 seasons since I've been playing. I think FM19, 17, 18, 19. So it's 4 versions. It's been pretty much the same. You get a draft board with not nearly enough information on it to make a decision. So we have to go here from general info. We have to go to scout transfer so we can at least see their age and our opinion of these guys. So let's see. Let's sort by ability here. But look at all these players. We just have no idea. All these players, no idea. There's Jordan Hamilton. I know him. We've used him before in previous seasons. Anybody else on here that I recognize? Not particularly. So I don't know exactly how the draft's going to go, but there are some decent quality players. There's like, 4 or 5 decent quality players that we could look at. So let's, skip to our pick, because most of these people I think are going to pass, but we'll see. Let's skip to our pick and see what happens. So let's see, summary. Chicago opted to pass. LA, pass. Colorado, pass. Pass. Everybody's passed. So let's look at age. Who's the youngest player that we could draft who we know anything about? See, Hassan Nadam, 20 years old, 18 strength, 6'5", central defender. I mean, we haven't fully scouted him at all. We know nothing about this guy, so we can't draft him. Hugo, also 20 years old. We know also next to nothing for him, and he looks like not quite as good a player either. Now, Tolo. Nohoa Tolo, 21-year-old Cameroonian, wingback support. Looks pretty good, but I'm not a big fan of wingbacks. He doesn't have the jumping reach I like. I mean, it's not terrible. He can do throw-ins pretty good. He's an international player. He does actually have some room to grow. 21 years old. I think we'll take him. So first draft, Nohoa Tolo. Let's go. All right. So, Nick Bessler, I think, is going to be our winner. He can play all up and down the midfield. He can play central defense. He's got good skills. Not the greatest guy you've ever seen, especially pace. Jumping. I mean, he is Mr. Average, but he's also kind of, Mr. Swiss Army knife. So we can use him in a lot of ways, in a lot of positions. So I think we will go with Bessler as our second draft pick. So there we go. An amazing, amazing draft. Let's go to our inbox. MLS waiver draft assignment is finished. Player has stopped scouting. Good for you, because you had 1 day to scout an entire 64 players. Now coming up, we got the expansion draft. Right after this, we got like no time to breathe. Waiver draft and then expansion draft. Now this is where we're going to get to pick 5 players from from any team in the league. You can only pick 1 player from each team, total of 5 players overall. So if we pick somebody from, let's say, LA Galaxy, that means we can pick no other players from LA Galaxy. We're going to have to move on. So we got to sort of plan strategically. So we picked Bessler. Ask Keenan to welcome Bessler to the team. As captain would be great. Okay. Tolo. No fan reaction in the offseason, unfortunately. The fans are asleep, I guess. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not reacting. You'd think this would be when the fans were most rabid. They'd be saying, who are we going to sign? All that stuff. But the thing to note is that both of these players, their contracts are running out in like a month. So we've got to decide if we're going to keep them or sign them or whatnot. So it wasn't a huge pick. Look at this again. We got 209 players picked for the draft and 1 day to scout them. So let's 1 day to scout them, and it's not going to happen because scouting for MLS is broken yet again in Football Manager. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Let's get to the draft. Here are the rules. As I mentioned previously, the draft consists of 5 rounds with 209 players available for selection. Cincinnati's the first pick. We're the only pick. There's no other expansion team this year. If a team passes, it may no longer participate, so don't pass your draft. Each non-expansion team can choose up to 1 player from their non-protected roster. That means that once the selection is made, all remaining non-protected players from the team's roster will become protected and therefore unavailable. So, rules for who you can keep, who you can protect, and who you can't protect. And now, from those lists, 209 players have been left unprotected by the other teams in the league. So, that's who we have to choose from in the expansion draft. And let's see who's available and who's not. So we've got a bunch of players that we just don't know about. Look at all these players that we don't know. Look at them all. No scouting on like more than half the players. That's terrible, awful, and horrendous. But we do have a pretty good selection currently. So we got a lot of options here. Okay. Let's start picking. Let's start picking some players here. If we sort by potential, I think maybe. Should we just pick like these 5 guys? Boom, 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 boom. All the youngest and the best? I don't know. Having Michael Barrios on the team would be game-changing. He's under contract until 2021 as well. He's a very good player. I've had him before in FC Dallas. He's a little injury prone. He's a little small. But man, is he a good playmaker. But if we drafted him, then that would not allow us to draft Max Urruti, who is an excellent striker. This guy is also sort of a game-changer guy in terms of a striker. So I think, that's the choice we're going to have to make. A choice between a guy like Max Urruti or Michael Barrios. We've already got some other possibilities up here when it comes to wingers, but we don't really have a lot of possibility when it comes to strikers. Philippe, the choices go on and on. 22 years old. I think we have to take Philippe. Box-to-box midfielder, 22 years old. Look at those physicals, determination, passing. Yeah, okay, so first choice, Luis Philippe, central mid, drafted. Boom. All right. And I think I want to take Zendejas. He's probably not worth like the second pick. Sporting KC. Are there any other Sporting KC boys I want to take? LA. Roberto Dominguez from Vancouver. No, thank you. I think we know Zendejas is somebody that I want to take. Unless there's like some great goalkeeper that I'm missing on this list. John Kempen is pretty good, I guess. Sanchez, Lipton. Is there anybody who's like amazing that I'm just not seeing? And Steg Trumore, apparently, goalkeeper. Let's see. No, I don't think so. So, we're going to go with Zendejas as the second pick. Not because he's necessarily the second best guy on the list, but because, there's no reason not to draft him. We need a goalkeeper. He's a goalkeeper. He seems to be the best one available. So, we'll take him. Okay, so that's center mid, goalkeeping. Now we need defender, advanced mid, and striker. So it comes down to, I think, Max Urruti versus Michael Barrios. Who do you take? Barrios, 27 years old, under contract until 2021, $400,000. Max Urruti, 27 years old, under contract till 2021, $781,000. That's a big contract. Is that something to look at? Barrios can also play striker if we need him. Finishing of 13, I guess, composure. You know, I think if we do take Barrios over Urruti, we'll be looking for another striker. But we already have Fernando Adi, who's our number one striker. So I think, you know, the type of star power that Barrios brings. He may be a little guy, but he's got that speed. He's got that flair. I mean, they don't show it here. I do like Barrios. He's 4-star player. The other 4-star player is Crispum, Shadow Striker. 67,000 for this guy. I think he's too good of a value to pass up. He's mostly a center mid, though. So we could have Leardom on the left, Crispum in the center, Barrios on the right. That would probably be pretty good. So I think we will go with Crispum. Are you sure? Yes. Positive. Positive. So we drafted Felipe, Zendejas, and Crispum. Luis Felipe? Yeah. Okay. I just drew a blank there for some reason. Okay. So now we got Villarreal up here. 25 years old. Orlando City. Attacking midfield. I think he's more of a center, though. Yeah, he's more of a center midfield. He can play some striker. Doesn't really have the pace that I like. He's got a lot of other stuff that's pretty good. But we just drafted a guy who's basically that position. So now I guess we're going for Barrios. I mean, it would be so hard to pass him up. He's such a good player. Marky Delgado. A little younger. He's not quite as good. Good. Not quite as good. I'm going with Barrios. Going with my heart rather than my head. All right, so we need defender. Now we need central defender. Roman Torres is available, even though he's got a season-ending injury right now. 32 years old. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Not gonna do it. All right, positionally, let's look for a central defender. Richie Marquez. Now let's go back to ability. Let's go back. Hello. Sort by ability, please. Thank you. Look at our central defenders. Torres is the best defender. Aha is next. And then Marquez. Again, we're going to go looking at salary. $120K till 2021. So Marquez, better value. Better value. We're going with the better value salary-wise. So there we go. Got things you got to pay attention to. All right. So we have our 5 picks. Luis Felipe at center mid. Adrian Zendejas, goalkeeper. Lucas Crispum, attacking midfield. Michael Barrios, attacking midfield. And Richie Marquez, central defense. I think that's a pretty good core. That's some pretty good talent. You know, we left Graham Zusi on the board. We left some good players on the board. Max Urruti, he's a guy most years I probably would have picked him over anybody else. Delgado's a good player. I mean, we left a lot of good players possibly on the board, but we'll see how this pans out. So there we go. 2 drafts in the book. We now have the re-entry draft coming up. So, okay, we are back for stage 1 of the MLS re-entry draft. Draft consists of 3 rounds 35 players available for selection, so it's a much smaller pool of players. But we could potentially get 3 other players, so we've already gotten quite a few players. It's 7 new players added to our roster currently, so we could get 2 more right here. So let's view the draft. Now, the other teams in the league get to pick, unfortunately, and once again, we're last in the round. I don't understand. We should be first, but we are last. And again, more than half the draft we have not scouted, even though we got an email just yesterday saying, here are the players, would you like to scout them? And we said yes, and this is the best we could do in 24 hours. So there's some interesting players. Federico Higuain, 34-year-old Argentinian. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's got a lot of strikes against him. First of all, designated player. He uses up a designated player contract. Secondly, 34 years old. Thirdly, international player, so he takes an international slot. And fourthly, he's getting $1.1 million, which is too much, so we will not be drafting Higuain, unfortunately. He's a good player, but doesn't really fit into our structure. So I think we just kind of go with the best player at this point. And I guess that best player is Marky Delgado. We hemmed and hawed about him all over the place. His salary is a little high, $230,000, but his contract does run out in a couple of days. So it's just like all of these guys, their contracts are going to run out, so they might not want to sign with us at all. So we're looking at, Jose Villarreal is a good possibility. Dave Romney gives us some flexibility in central defense. He can play left fullback or central defense. Like I said, I'd like to get a right back, but I don't think that's in the cards here. So let's just go with kind of best available. Go with Delgado and draft him and see what happens. It is a little weird that nobody else is drafting in this. Like, everybody has passed for whatever reason. And do we get another draft here? Do we go Dave Romney? I think, yeah, sure. Let's draft Dave Romney. Okay, and then we get to go again at the 77 pick. Everybody else in the entire draft has pulled out because they've all skipped. To me, that's odd. To me, that seems a little bit buggy. So we're going to take Jose Villarreal. He's another really good young player, well, young-ish player. Everybody in this draft is 23 or older. I mentioned before, like, one of the drafts is 23 and under, one is 23 and over. This is the 23 and over. So 25 for this guy. He's still got a lot of good years left. I'm only making $85K. He can go all over the field in the midfield, so, we'll draft Villarreal as well. So we've really stocked this team. We're really, become pretty good. So we're going to finish out that entry draft. That's just stage 1. We've used all 3 of our picks. I don't think we get like 3 more picks. I think stage 2 is just going to come and go pretty quickly. But we did have a couple of emails, so I want to see the emails, and then we can try to sign some of these guys and see if they'll actually sign with us or not, because they might not want to. Okay, so here we are. Re-entry stage 2. Draft consists of 3 rounds. Cincinnati's first pick is 24th overall. Let's view the draft. So we still get 3 more picks in this round. Ridiculous. We might have to start passing up. I mean, we could use some depth at goalkeeper. Could use Cody Cropper. Harry Shipp. Could use a leader in the midfield. I mean, he's right now valued at 0. If we can sign all these guys for like chump change, then who knows? Ambrose, we just signed a left back, so we probably don't need Ambrose. Christian Dean, I mean, I don't know. We can sign some people. Let's skip to our pick and see what happens. Skip to our pick summaries. Again, everybody passed. Everybody passed. This is weird. All right, so we'll just go through. I'm just going to get greedy. I'm going to start picking everybody. Because all these guys' contracts run out anyway, so we can cut half of them if we want to. Ship, come here. You're getting drafted. Cody Cropper, come here. You're getting drafted, friend. You're in the Army now. Ambrose is the next best player. Colin Martin. Homegrown, 24 years old.